What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here in the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Monday edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going on live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. It's been great content here. We've had a good couple of weeks here smashing the NFL. Sunday ended up being a really nice smash for this video for a lot of the stuff. Hit both likes that we had two of them on just 11 games. Ended up upgrading Jalen Hurts a little bit there. Hopefully he can score here as that game is getting underway. But this video is getting underway. We've got a number of games, 9 in the NBA streets. However, they're trying to kill me with some injury news, and I am looking at you, Brooklyn. You piss me off. We'll talk about the ins and outs of that. But talk about tails as well. We'll get to that at the halfway point. If you guys want to get a head start on that, there's a link down there. Plus, that Discord, we are popping lately. It has been really good stuff. And hey, some of the NBA locks last week. I mean, I'm looking at this Knicks Phoenix one. I mean, just we've had some absolute smashes. The totals, we've been really on top of that one, but no locks on this video purely because there's so much injury news. Again, I will break down everything that you need to be paying attention to for the NBA. There we go. We found it. Producer Jacob's on hand. We're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. Let's get to the picks. And our day begins in Charlotte with Orlando visiting here, and kind of an interesting spot if you ask me, purely because we've got tons of guys that kind of got dinged up over the weekend. Jalen Suggs, but he's off the injury report entirely. This dude, I swear to God, he's made of metal or something. I don't know. He's like Jax from Mortal Kombat. Just, ugh. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. How does that movie not hold up? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's actually one of the worst movies ever, but must I do everything for you? It goes into the cube. What am I even talking about? Talking to myself. It's fine. Basically, what I'm paying attention to here is the Charlotte side. Grant Williams ends up tearing his ACL out for the season. We are going to see an interesting young type lineup coming up very, very shortly in our lives. I think we're going to get Salon and Diabate both in that starting unit. They took Musa Diabate and they started playing him every minute there at center they possibly could. They are so thin because Miles Bridges is going to be out for this game as well. So yeah, I think you're going to get LaMelo Ball, Josh Green, Brandon Miller, Salon, and Diabate. That is not the 5 guys that you want out there from a Diabate is a good defender, but this is not a very good defensive front overall. And you're going to see Orlando come in, and that is primarily what they do. They do have Wendell Carter, who's questionable for this one. I'm not sure if he plays or not, but hopefully they continue to make minutes for Goga Bitadze, because defensively, he continues to do all the same stuff that he did last season. So I'm looking at the Orlando money line here. This is a play automatically for me. It is on the card here. It's at -2.5. If you would rather go that direction, I'm fine with it as well. But give me this money line play. If you want to attach it to something, not pay the full freight, -135, -140 for it, totally understood. Toronto at Detroit coming up here next, and some injury news also. I mean, there's injury news all over the place, but you've got the back-to-backs. You've got so many of them here going in this spot, and I thought we were going to have to wait forever, but Toronto's playing Cleveland, and, you know, it's kind of competitive here at the moment, middle of the second quarter. Double-digit lead for Cleveland, as you might expect. But overall, Toronto on the back-to-back. They're still missing a number of pieces. Does anybody rest on this back-to-back? I don't know. But Emmanuel quickly, they announced is going to be out until like middle December. Kelly Olynyk, he's still out until the beginning of December, so another week at least. Bruce Brown is close. He could potentially suit up in this one, and that would give them a little bit of that much-needed relief, because Bruce Brown, despite what we saw at times last season, is a serviceable NBA player. But I don't have a whole heck of a lot to break down in this one. Toronto +5, just going to be a lean for me. We continue on. And the Pellies taking on Indy here in this one. Again, what are we even doing with some of these injury reports? My God. CJ McCollum, questionable. Yves Missy, questionable, or messy, however you want to say it. Again, it's messy, but I'm looking at Jose Alvarado, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson. They're continuing to be out. DeJounte Murray, doubtful. Hand fracture. Sounds like he could be back during this week, though. That would be wild. But Ben Shepherd, left oblique strain, now is going to be out for a while, in addition to Andrew Nembhard. We got Johnny Murphy doubtful. God, it's all craziness. But Quentin Jackson going to probably get another start. We saw him start the last 2 for Indy. He's such a hard player to evaluate and get a hang on like what the usage is actually going to be. So from a points prop perspective, I don't have anything to really throw out there here at the moment. TJ McConnell, how many minutes is he going to play here? Because Tyrese Halliburton continues to struggle. It's just such a frustrating spot. I'm going to take the under of 229 as a lean purely because I have this at 227, but that's not good enough to go on the card. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. I guess on this card, we have 4 likes, 4 leans, and 1 lean like. I'll get into the ins and outs of that, but this is just a pure like. Another one. We actually have 2 likes back to back. That's exciting. I'll talk in the midway point about tails, but we got Dallas at Atlanta in this one, and Atlanta playing up in pace, about that pace, no treble. I think we've recognized that here at this point in time, right? Yeah, 12-5 towards the over in their games this season. However, Vegas has that information too, and that's always one of the things that drives me nuts when it's like, oh, they're on a back-to-back. Well, you think Vegas doesn't have the schedule and that they don't recognize that? But, that's why it's more important for me to be talent evaluating, trying to figure out exactly what the usage, assist rate, rebound rate is going to be. And it's frustrating on a slate like this where I can't really do the normal projections because we just have so much stuff in the air on a day-to-day basis. And what is that thing here in this spot? Well, Luka Doncic is out. Luka's going to be out for a while. Luka's out. And they're on a back-to-back. And they're playing Miami on the front end of that back-to-back. And, are they going to rest anybody? They don't have Luka Doncic. Spencer Dinwiddie, potentially more minutes. I need to see some of these minutes as things finish out. But I think the total is just a little bit low for my liking. Although, if things were to just hit right now, there are no injuries here in this Miami game as they are rounding that one out. It's 111-110 with 1 minute left to go in that 1 minute and 18 seconds. But I think this over is kind of an interesting, fascinating little ad. Over 238. I like it purely because we are seeing that crazy pace that Atlanta's, they're going to be top 3, top 5 in pace the entire season. In Dallas, when you don't have Luka, he was surprisingly good on defense to start off this season. Just a bigger body thotty out there, pick and roll. You can't exactly pick and roll him. He's kind of sleek, kind of figures shit out. But overall, I think this is just a game environment where the more I sim it out, the more I look at the pace for both of these teams with these specific players, Luka in the half court tends to slow things down. Now, not as much last year because you had Kyrie Irving and they were playing up in pace. Plus, they like some of these small ball lineups. However, Daniel Gafford ended up being in. I think he'll be in again here in this spot, even on the back-to-back. Looked all right to me. Oh, 112. That was an interesting bucket there from Jimmy Butler. 112, 111 here. 1 minute to go in that. We'll see how things finish out. Najee Marshall had a really nice second half after a brutal first half, but you don't care about that. Let's just give you the play. Over 238. Let's talk about tails. You guys want to come kick it with me in the Discord? You can do so right now over at Tails. Go to the Discord down below. You click on that link. You sign up at one of these 11 sites, and you'll get me for free. Yeah, you heard me, for free. You'll get your opportunity to sign up at that link join. Just take a screenshot of all of the goodness right here. You got, what? Welcome email, first settled bet. Email it, support@oddchopper.com with those screenshots. That's a $50 value of me. That's awesome. That's a great opportunity. Plus, you have 11 great sites on that previous screen. I'll throw it up there one more time. Producer Jacob, here you go. Underdog, you got Pick'em and goodness on the left. You have sportsbooks on the right. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. All right, Clippers, Boston. Interesting scenario that we have here. The Clippers just took it to Philly. They barely had to play any of their starters. They ended up dusting off Bones Highland later in that game. Mo Bamba, he plays backup center. He actually played pretty well in a revenge spot against the Sixers. Sixers are so brutal, though, it makes sense. No starter had to play over 27 minutes. James Harden, 23, 8, and 2 in very, very limited minutes. That is wild to watch. It's very, very wild to watch. But now they go on a back-to-back, and they kind of saved themselves. However, doesn't help when you have to play Boston on this back-to-back. 9.5 is not enough, and I get it. The Clippers can play some defense. They're deep. They have a number of pieces on the bench that they can go towards, but what are you going to do against Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown? Because as much as you might like Derek Jones, or, the likes of Amir Coffey as a defender, Terrence Mann as a defender, this is still the Boston Celtics on the road on a back-to-back. This is a very, very tough place to land. However, Boston's on a back-to-back themselves. Eked out a close win against my Minnesota Timberwolves. You had to have Jaylen Brown. What a sick block there to finish out that game. Really good stuff from him. Overall, though, I like backing them here inside of double digits. You don't get to do it very often. It's a low-variance basketball game. Again, the Clippers not exactly going to try to push the pace by any means. But you get the you get the Celtics inside of double digits. You do this just about every time. I would be betting this up to 10.5 for sure. Portland at Memphis. We have a gigantic piece of news here. Ja Morant questionable entering this one. It's Tumari. Yeah. Tamani Kamara, and then Jeremy Grant is questionable. Not Tamani Kamara. He's going to be starting and playing more than likely. Robert Williams, I'm expecting to start here going forward because DeAndre Ayton, doubtful. And now you got Donovan Clingan out for this one. He had a knee sprain that was kind of a brutal deal. Robert Williams going into Memphis, that's pretty, I mean, it makes sense against Jaren Jackson Jr. playing Brandon Clark and the likening there, but I don't know how you analyze anything here until you get John Morant news. They're not going to give us any advantageous props to be able to fire up. So why are we even trying here? Give me Memphis -8, just a lean. Don't bet it. 3 games to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Going to be a quick one. We're going to be inside of 15 minutes on the NBA here. If you appreciate that, smash the like button, let me know. But Denver taking on the Knicks, and we know Karl Anthony Towns is doing unbelievable offensive things, but he's questionable with a left calf contusion entering this game, as is Miles McBride, who's been out for a little while here. Left knee patellofemoral syndrome. Man, I said that really quickly. It's kind of impressive. I'm not even mad. Nikola Jokic came back, and oh boy, they eviscerated the Lakers in LA in that second half. That was nice. We had the under of 236. That number made no sense to me. It got bet up throughout the day, and it finishes under 230 in general. Everybody cashes every single under you could have possibly taken there. But again, that was just a small half-unit play for me on Saturday. My only bet of Saturday, to be honest. Anywho, we've got Karl Anthony Towns questionable, but we don't have Jokic questionable. Oh, Jokic. He's got that baby bump. Like, not literally, but the bump in usage, play, and analysis. Based on what we saw from Luka Doncic last year, his buddy, but I'm being facetious. I'm joking. But here's the thing. Jokic has to play crazy minutes in all of these scenarios, and even these kind of games where it's the Knicks potentially without Karl Anthony Towns, we're seeing them only favored by 3.5. That's a middle line, so it's going to go like closer to Pick'em or like -1 here on the Denver side, or it's going to go to like 6 or 7 here on the Karl Anthony Towns being out type news. So it's middled. It's middled pretty strongly. And if you get Jericho Sims or, I mean, what are they going to do? Huckporty. Ariel Huckporty is a guy who we saw in that rotation playing big minutes, kind of a bigger body thotty there. If they have to throw him out there just against Jokic, give some minutes to him. They don't want to. They'll probably get destroyed, but that's kind of what I'm looking at anyway, because Karl Anthony Towns, one of the worst interior defenders. We have Jokic triple-double, 30-plus points at our disposal. That is going to be a lean like for me. So I haven't bet it yet. So anything that I put lean like for the most part is something that I haven't bet yet that I will bet unless I specify otherwise. Basically, want you to know Jokic triple-double, better than +175. 30-plus points, attaching that to the triple-double. These are the kind of things I'm going to be looking to do with single-game parlays, and you should too on Monday. Brooklyn at Golden State. I mean, this just drives me nuts. I'm going to rant for like 1 minute only, and then we'll just get out of here. Brooklyn, out of the middle of nowhere. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing on Sunday, and I was going to. I'm so happy I didn't. I was going to post Ben Simmons attaching a bunch of unders there because I had a feeling that they were going to play Dennis Schroeder there and then they were going to rest Ben Simmons on the Monday, but they still haven't exceeded him like 27, 28 minutes. So like, okay, his numbers were pretty inflated to have him play like almost 30 minutes was almost like the way the marketplace was looking at it. If you ended up firing that up, that would have sucked because you ended up getting Dennis Schroeder 20 minutes before the game starts, ruled out of the middle of nowhere because they obviously were looking to just fully utilize him here. Cam Thomas has been dinged up, and Ben Simmons, they were always going to rest him on the back-to-back. I don't understand how they can get away with stuff like this. Either Dennis Schroeder is just not healthy and you need to like sit him for both sides of this, or you just move on with your lives. Plus, they got Dorian Finney-Smith. He's going to miss 2 games here. He's going to be out for this one. I mean, they're just depleted here, and if you want to rest your guy and just move on, sweet, do it. I'd be looking at Golden State -12.5. Just going to be a lean for me. Don't bet it. And the last game of the night, again, this is one of the weirder cards in a while because we have what? An Orlando money line. I have Dallas, Atlanta over. 238 is too low there. Boston, 9.5. And then I've got another favorite that I'm going to be betting. So we've got what? 3 favorites that are on the cards and an over. Oh, lovely. That Jokic triple-double plus 30 points. Oh boy. That looks ridiculous though. Jalen Brunson, please keep it close. But OKC at Sacramento. Sacramento and OKC here. Yeah, this is going to be a back-to-back for both parties involved here, I believe. Yep. No, OKC's not on a back-to-back. OKC's not on a back-to-back, Eric. I'm a silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. But we've got ourselves an interesting one here specifically because on the other side of this, Sacramento is on the back-to-back. Malik Monk ended up getting downgraded to doubtful. I don't even know if he plays in this one coming back. It's such a weird thing to get a glimpse of. Plus, you've got year infinity for DeMar DeRozan. Does anybody else sit on this back-to-back? I mean, they've got him coming into Sacramento. I would assume they're trying to save Malik Monk for tomorrow, but I don't know anymore. It's just hard to know with this basketball team. Plus, I just think they're poorly constructed. I mean, if you need De'Aaron Fox to go out and try to win you a basketball game, you could, but you also have OKC. Have you watched them play with Isaiah Hartenstein? We only have to lay 4.5 here against Sacramento on the back-to-back. 4.5 for Hartenstein. Again, for me, I just did the modeling of the players, and I have this at 6.5. And then you add in that OKC isn't on the back-to-back, and Sacramento is. Ooh, darling, fire it up. Let's get out of here. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Lacks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely little slate that we have before us. Nothing really to add here in the NBA streets. Tons of props that will come my way. I'll probably post something over on X. So follow me at Eric Lindquist. Boom. You got that at your disposal. Would love to see you guys there. And then also would love to have you guys join Tails and come kick it with me, because that's where you're going to get all of those props. I got only one basically showing up for me, and it's not even like the Jokic thing. I need to get a lot of other books to throw out their numbers. Alrighty, thank you, producer Jacob. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Check out NFL Lindy's for Monday night as well. We are running really hot in the NFL streets. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Monday.